we're talking to a Hall of Famer. First of all,
I know. Can you believe it? Dude, I was surprised you answered the call. Now you're in the Hall of Fame.
So well deserved. So well deserved. Congratulations, number one. Number two, watching you accept the accolades, that public embrace, which you so deserve, and watching you probably get a little emotional, it made me love you even more, as if that's possible, but you so deserve it, dude.
I really appreciate that. You and Brendan were the first ones that text that I sent you. I mean, that seconds after I got done, I grabbed my phone. That was the first one because you're the ones that asked me about it. I don't know if you remember this, but about 2 months ago, maybe less, we had this conversation.
Yes. Can I read it?
Yeah, you're like, hey, do you ever think you'll go in or something like that? And I did not. The real truth, I didn't. Kind of wanted to, but now I probably would have bet no. And anyway, so I was thinking of you guys. That was all.
Well, we loved it. Was that? Oh, hold on. Let me find it. Sorry. What was that sort of a surprise? Then you knew you knew when you went there you got accepted.
No. So
what?
I don't tell you.
Short story, kind of long, but I had done a voiceover for ESPN for the BMF belt. And it was literally just a voiceover on what the belt meant and, how we got to Gaethje and Max. And so they told me, said, hey, since you did the voiceover, we're going to have you and Megan do the interview. And Megan O'Leary will every now and then I'll watch pay-per-views and I'll see her like before the third fight or something. She'll go down and she'll say something, some piece of inside information. I saw the boys in the back earlier and they look awfully loose, whatever it is. So I was going to do it with her. That was it. So we go down, and when I got there, I've got like the best seat in the house. I mean, the only one better than me is like where Rogan is sitting, and it had my name on the chair. And I thought, wow, for this little tiny piece, they put my name on the chair. So I sit down, and then everybody was nice to me. Dana came over, and Joe came over, and Mick and Sean. It was just everybody's treating me so nicely. I never pieced it together. In fact, when I was up there, the acoustics are kind of tough, and they were fighting for the BMF, the baddest. And so Anik said something about the bad guy, but I thought like the bad guy belt and blah, blah, blah. I didn't know it was me. I even thought to myself, bad guy, that's what they used to call me. And then Megan O'Leary told me, she goes, you don't get it yet, do you? I said, what's going on, Megan? She said, you're in the Hall of Fame. It was cool, man. It was a cool moment.
So that, I wish I'd known that. You found out then, right there.
Right then.
Every Hall of Famer.
Right there.
They do it every time. They never give you a heads up.
Oh, my God, man.
They invite you like Cowboy didn't know. It's on the spot.
And you did look like a gangster. You looked like a gangster.
Thank you, buddy.
And here's what you
my
texted
man.
us. You go, your mothers were wrong. Good things do happen to bad people. And more often than not, cheaters do win. But you're not that guy.
Yes, they do.
No.
I know your mother's told you don't cheat. Cheaters never win. Yes, they do. They often win. They win lots.
Chael, you didn't cheat. No. You're not a bad person. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, no. Are you surprised, Joe? Because the analogy would be if, obviously we're boys, so I think you should have been in long ago, but the analogy would be if baseball let in Pete Rose, right? Because after the Chael fight that they're showing, the Chael and Anderson fight, you tested hot after that fight, and then that fight's in the Hall of Fame, which it deservingly should be there. I don't think it should be a factor, but were you surprised by that? Did you think that would factor into things you just wouldn't get in because of that?
I think that's relevant. Like if somebody kept you out for failing a post for breaking the rules, like, yes, that would seem to me to be very reasonable. I think I would be unobjective if I couldn't see that. And so, and there's different wings too, by the way. Like there's a way that the person goes in, and this is like a fight goes in. So it's a little bit of a sidestep, but it was still a cool moment, right? You get the jacket and you go up there. And Brendan, think about it from this perspective. Like we never have lost anything, and then you get praised for it. Like that's just not how it works. I mean, that's the moment that's kept me up. That is the moment where I'll sit up and I'm soaking wet. I just need those 90 seconds back. And so nothing's changed. I still didn't beat him, but now all of a sudden it's cool.
No,
all of a sudden I feel totally different about it.
I don't like this conversation. I don't like this where it's going. No. I disagree with all of it. In fact, I even want to edit out the what you texted because it's taking away from who you are as a person and what you were able to do to this sport, which was have an impact. And that had nothing to do with anything other than your personality, your spirit, and your indomitable will to find a way to be the signal through the noise. We've had how many fighters in this game, and you remain relevant. You've continued to be a positive impact in this sport in about 50 different ways, and most of all, and especially as a fighter. So I'm sorry, but yeah, you put yourself in there and you fought the greatest in many ways as ever and almost beat him. For my money, as I was watching that, I was reminded of how insanely exciting that sport was. And you were the first real trash talker in a lot of ways. I mean, the first guy where all of us went, this motherfucker, where people who didn't follow MMA were like, this guy is saying things like, I'm a Republican, I'm never on my back, I don't let guys get between my legs. We as dudes were like, when I met you, I didn't even know who you were. I was actually a little afraid. I was a grown man, and I went, hey, I'm a fan. And you looked at me, we were at Metamoris, and you went, Chael Sonnen, you got good taste. And I was like, God, that guy's so cool. All of us felt that way about Chael Sonnen.
But Chael, to your defense,
let's not diminish the sheen that is well-deserved here. Fuck all that.
No one's diminishing it at all. It has to be, you can't bring Chael on and avoid that topic.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can't.
You're right.
But the other argument too, Chael, is if we want to go through who's tested hot for PEDs and go back in the day, I'm sorry, from till USADA started, all the way back, nobody's getting in. It was just part of the sport.
Nobody's getting in.
It's literally part. It was no different than a mouthpiece.
Or
it was
CrossFit
literally
games.
part of the game.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I mean, that's a fact.
It was very cultural. There was and that one was interesting. So testosterone was legal. Just to go back, but this is for fun, not to redo something, but testosterone was legal. It was right there in the rules in California, and you had to disclose it. Now, the reason I point that out, in Nevada, by example, where testosterone was also legal, you had to preemptively have a therapeutic use exemption. California did not have that. You had to disclose it. So I only tell you that because I tested positive for a legal substance, and I became the face of TRT. And other guys started using it. They started abusing it. I mean, that's all athletes start to abuse, right? It's one of these situations. That house of cards comes tumbling down. They pulled the whole thing. But when they hit me in California, that wasn't right. I had that signed and dated. And Brendan, you'll know about this. When you go to the weigh-ins, there's a check. They check your skin and they get the pulse out. And sometimes there's an eye exam. They asked you right there if you've taken any medications, and then it's 2 weeks or whatever they put down. I wrote testosterone. It was the only thing I wrote down. Wow. Testosterone. Oh, and I wrote Ambien. It was legal. I mean, it was signed off by the doctor and executive director. When I go in for my hearing, I bring that. It's all that I have. I go, here's your rule. This is signed by him, the executive director. They go, yes, that's true. But don't you agree that is a performance enhancer? I said, that's the whole reason I took it. I would have never taken it except that it was supposed to enhance my performance. And I felt like it did. Like that, yes, I do agree to that. It was one of these weird things. So they go, all right, we're going to give you 6 months. It's like, no, this isn't traffic court. There is no 6 months. It's a 2-year ban or it's no ban. I did not break your rule. And moving forward, they allowed guys to do what I did as long as you disclosed it.
Everyone got exemptions.
I remember
everyone I trained with, I tried getting one. They denied me, but everyone I knew had an exemption.
Yep.
So that's what you want people to know.
Right.
Yes, depending on the state.
But let's go to what did you feel when you were looking out there? Because I remember, man, you've done some things that get me tug at my emotional heartstrings. When they said, if your dad was still here, what would you say? And you said, I tried. And you started kind of choking up. And it was so awesome, man. It was just, I saw your whole relationship. To me, it kind of encapsulated what sports are about in a lot of ways, father-son bonding. I just took my son to wrestling yesterday. It's for me, it's like, it's the whole deal. So
that's awesome.
But watching you, and just kind of a man who has arrived in a way, what a moment to look out and get that applause and to realize in a lot of ways, man, it's very few people, very rare air to get there.
It's the rarest, but I also think too, as a Chael felt like he has a huge fan base. I think for most of them went, yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Like I wasn't surprised. I'm like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's news to me that you just found that out. I'm sorry that I'm that ignorant about it, but can you tell us?
Well, you guys are. I love being around you guys. You guys always lift me, and I really appreciate that. But Brian, it is exactly what you thought. So, they told me I'm going to do this interview, and I'd seen Megan do them before. She does it. She like stands on the apron of the octagon where the ring car girls hold up the thing. That's where Megan does these pieces. So when they brought us down cage side, everything was fine, but they brought us the exact way that the fighters walked. And so, fans are cheering and whatnot. And I remember walking through it, and I got a straight face. I haven't earned that adoration, but I was thinking I never in my life thought I would get to make this walk again. This is pretty cool. That was just an added bonus, is the way they got us to the cage was the same walk that the fighters did. And so then when they said, and they played it up on the big screen, and yeah, man, it really was something very cool. I didn't know it was going to make me high and excited. Like, I couldn't even sleep the night that it happened. I had a red eye out the next morning. I was fired up. I was waking my wife. I'm like, come on, we got to go, baby.
So cool.
I'm just telling you, like, I didn't know I would have that reaction, but yeah, it was cool. I mean, how often in life does anybody tell you good job? How often do you ever get recognized?
It's amazing.
But think about this, Chael. Not only do they acknowledge you, they acknowledge you on the biggest night in UFC history at UFC 300. So just think the magnitude of that. They decide not only to do it, but do it at 300. And then when you think of, the bad guy, you also got to think of that night. Like, to me, what Max Holloway did is the greatest knockout in UFC history. So like, you have that on the books, you have Alex doing his thing, you have this stacked card, and then you get in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.